Hi there, this is Linda. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. In this video, I am putting together the week of January 16th through 22nd in my Project Life album. This is 2023, and this is the third week that I have in this album, so I'm starting to kind of find my rhythm in this 9x12 size. If you're wondering what happened to the first 2 weeks and my title page, those are all included in my Plan, Prep, and Play class over at Allie Edwards, and you can still sign up for that class if you're interested, and I will link that in the description box below. Okay, so I have all my photos cut out and I have a piece of ephemera that I wanted to include this week. And I decided to do all 3x4 photos. So this week was the week of January 16th through 22nd. I was working on Plan, Prep, Play most of this week. And I just didn't have a ton going on. So I don't have a ton of photos to use. I just have, I have photos, but they're, food, my cat, a lot of random things, my coffee. There was an ice storm, so I have a photo of that. I have a lot of cat photos this week. So I'm just kind of laying them out to get an idea of how many pockets I have, and then I'll rearrange things. And then I'm going to go through the cards in the kit. So this is the Kelly Purkey or Paper Person Shop kit from January 2023. I do not subscribe to this kit, but I picked up just this one because I just absolutely loved it. So I'm just gonna go through the cards. Those are February themed. Some of these are like January themed, so I probably want to try to use this. This is January 2023, so if I don't use it here, I probably won't. And then this also says 2023. Let's see. This is more of like a February one. I think there's like a January calendar. Yeah, this one. I'm going to use that as my title card. This one says right now, reading, watching, listening, playing, exploring. I think that one I could use. I could maybe, this one, so this is one of the reasons I don't subscribe to Paper Person, that she has a lot of cards like this that are super cute, but for me this is kind of hard to use because you can only write like one word in those. But maybe I can come up with a way to use it. You can see this one for more journaling. Let's see, I think I'm going to try to use that one, but do it as like a, maybe like an overview or something. Let's see that. And then there's this New Year, New Me card, or I could do like a pattern filler. So I do kind of like this, but I'm just trying to think because I don't want to put too many cards that, like I don't want to leave this and not be able to use it. But I don't love the color. Well, it does look good with that, but all of those ones are like a different color. And I do kind of want like a pattern. I feel like I have too many photos over here. I need to put another photo over here. Let's see. My problem is I have too many cat photos. I just have too many cat photos in general. And these two are from the weekend. And this is the ice storm. Let me see. Where was the ice storm? I think that, yeah, this was on Thursday. So that's earlier in the week. I can do that. I feel like this one's too dark. I need more like white space over here. So that's kind of like, I want to just try to balance everything out a little bit. That's super cute. And then this kit also has all of these like die cut pieces. I used some of these in one little word already, but I think I kind of want to just go through and see if I could use any other ones. Let's see. A lot of these are too big for such small photos, but like this one, maybe I could use and like add some journaling. It's still kind of big. Maybe I won't use those. Let's see what else is there. There's these cute puffy stickers. Those would be cute to use. I for sure I'm going to use some of those. And then this was the main reason I bought this kit, was I absolutely love this washi tape. But maybe I want to use just like a white card so I can use the washi and the stamps to create my own card rather than like this one, but there's too many things. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on fast forward those while I think about it, because I do want to kind of take my time, start filling pockets in, figure out where I want to put my journaling. There's also these cute alphabets. And then the kit also has the 6x8 papers. I think they all just have like a plain ledger on the back, but these would also be kind of cute to like cut this one down rather than use the colorful one to like keep in that color scheme. Or there's this one. And then, let me see. The mountains don't really go. And then this one I love, but as like the big pattern. So I don't want to cut that down. And then it came with these calendars, which I need to figure out a way to use this. I was thinking I could put like a photo a day or something in here and put this as like an insert. But I'm not sure I'm going to work on that today. I think I'm going to save that and maybe do it later. And maybe do the January and February ones together and make like an insert in my Project Life album. That's going to include both of those in another spread. So let's see. I think that that's kind of my original plan here, but I'm probably going to go grab some white cardstock from my stash and see about making like my own card with some of these and some of the washi, and kind of figure out how I want to fill this spread, go ahead and fill this spread in. So I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on fast forward and get this spread put together. Okay, so this spread really, I just absolutely love how it came together. I started with this title card. So in the kit, there were these 3x4 cards that had calendars on them. There was a January one and a February one. So I decided to use the January one as my title card. And instead of stamping out the dates, I just used a mild liner to highlight the dates that were included. And I thought that was kind of a fun way to add my title. I considered adding some washi on it, but I decided against it. But you'll see later in the video, I do end up going back and adding washi tape onto there. Next, I'm moving on to this journaling card. So one thing that the Paper Person Shop kits always have are a lot of prompt-based journaling. For me, I often struggle with these because there's a lot of like check boxes and things to fill in and specific questions for you to answer in your journaling. Which is often kind of hard for me because it doesn't really work with the stories that I want to already tell. And there's not usually a large space for journaling because there's so many little boxes and things to fill in. But I'm sure that this is a great fit for a lot of people. If you're someone who struggles with journaling, these kits might be great for you. So I filled in that first card there. And now I'm moving on to this week one. And I kind of struggled with this one, as I said in the intro, because these boxes are just so small. So what I decided to do was use this with this stamp set that I recently purchased. And I've mentioned this in some of my other videos recently. I absolutely love it. And I will link it down in the description box below. But what I'm going to do is kind of stamp my work schedule this week. So I had Monday off because it was Martin Luther King Day. And then I had Friday off. I took the day off. And I was really spending a lot of time at this time in January working on Plan, Prep, and Play and working like my actual job in the office. So what I did was I kind of used this card to kind of just give an overview of my schedule of when I was in the office, when I was telecommuting, when I was off. And then for the weekend section, I wrote out errands and crafts, because that's kind of all I did all weekend. I ran errands and I worked on my class. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add a few other little things at the bottom. Actually, so what I ended up doing was there were some additional prompts, and I don't even remember what they say now, but they didn't really make sense. So I just covered them up with this washi. And as you guys heard in the intro, I love, 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 love this washi tape that came in this kit so much. I feel like I'm going to use it so much. I've already used it in my daily journal. And so I wanted to make sure I used it quite a bit on the spread, even though I don't really typically use washi tape in Project Life. I just loved it so much. I wanted to make sure that I could use it on this spread. There was also this blue washi in the kit, which is very pretty as well. Just I don't love it quite as much. And these fun alphabets. And I decided that I wanted to use them to kind of add some titles to some of my photos. So for here, we had an ice storm. and I took a photo of it, and you can't really see very well in the photo, especially on a video of the photo, but there was ice coming down and ice on the ground. And so I wanted to kind of document that with these words here. And then I also brought over this word phrase strip pad from Ali Edwards. I'm always trying to find places to use up extra word phrase strips. I love them as a go-to embellishment, and I have a ton of them. And they're just great for kind of like anchoring things. So you can see here for the word yum, I anchored it on that word phrase strip, and then I added one of the puffy stickers from the kit. And I kind of just love having that little like formula to go to. So I'm pulling from that blue washi, the white word phrase strips, my tiny attacher, those puffy stickers, and these alphas, and just kind of decorating various cards in different ways, but pulling from that same kind of recipe of design elements so that they all do kind of coordinate. So this week, me and my daughter made horchata, which if you don't know, it's a Mexican rice drink. It's very sweet. It's something that she loves. I'm not a huge fan, but I don't hate it. But she loves it a lot. So we decided to make it from scratch. And so that's a picture of my cup from it. I thought I had grabbed a picture of her actually making it, but maybe I didn't, because I guess I didn't end up including one here. So that's okay. I have a picture of my glass instead. And then on this card here, I added some washi on a 3x4 piece of white cardstock. And then I'm stamping the little camera from the stamp set onto vellum, and I'm going to cut it out and add it onto that card. And I did this just so I could create my own journaling card. And I did this for two reasons. One, because I love the washi tape and I just wanted to use more of it. And the second is because, like I said earlier, the journaling cards that are in these kits are very specific, and they come with very specific prompts. And I just needed kind of like a catch-all card to add just a bunch of random stories from the week. Again, I'm adding another one of those word phrase strips and a puffy sticker and a tiny attacher staple so that everything kind of coordinates across the spread. And then what I'm going to end up doing is adding some bullet points onto that 3x4 card of various things that happened this week. This other prompt card here, I think this is talking about kind of like goals, but it was more general. And I wanted to kind of I didn't really want to document my goals for the year because I really wanted to document this week, but I decided to kind of focus on the things that I was working on this week. And I used that as kind of my jumping off point for this card and kind of loosely matched what the prompt said. And what I decided to do was stamp each title. And so you can see there on my little sticky note where I write down all of the stories I want to tell for the week. I made a note of everything that I wanted to actually include on here. And I wrote them out there so that I make sure that I spell them correctly. Even though I know how to spell all of these words, when you're stamping one letter at a time, it's very easy to get mixed up or stamp on the wrong line. And so having them written out there to kind of pull from was very easy to make sure that I'm writing them out right, especially because you can see I don't stamp one word at a time. I stamp multiple words at a time, and it's kind of fun for me because it's almost like a game. I try to see how many times I could use the same stamp. So like if I want to try to use the A, I want to try to make it so that 3 of the words need an A at the same time. And I know that's kind of silly, but it makes the process really fun to me. And so I wrote out some things that I'm working on in the new year and was specifically working on this week: teaching the Plan, Prep, and Play class, journaling daily, being healthy, my heritage project, which I shared more about that in the Plan, Prep, and Play class, but I will share more about that here on my YouTube channel as I dig into it more. And then just relaxing more, which is one of my goals for this year. I'm trying to take more personal time and just listen to my body and do things that I just want to do for me. Moving on to this card right now. So this was like a media card. It says right now at the top, but it's about like media. And so I decided to stamp on here the book I was reading and a movie that I watched this week and just add a little bit of details of those 2 stories. I don't always include my media in here, and I actually am planning on starting a media journal for 2023 to document the media the books I read and the movies I watch and TV shows I watch more than I normally do. So I will probably include most of that stuff over in my media journal rather than in Project Life. But I do like to add it in here every now and then because it's kind of like a backdrop to what's going on in my life at this time, right? I do read a lot and I watch a lot of TV. And having a mention in here of like, hey, right now, this was the book I was reading, just kind of helps put everything else in context for me. I wanted to add a little bit of decoration here, and it has some again, prompt things to fill in on the side, and I kind of struggled with how to fill it in, but I ended up pulling out that stamp set again to put January in there. And then I added a puffy heart and a puffy geotag and a couple of the word phrase strips just to kind of fill in the little sections there so that it didn't look blank. I'm moving on to some of the photos and just trying to figure out how to decorate them, whether I wanted to add more words, more washi. And I just love the repeated embellishing of adding these alphas on. Something I hadn't noticed when I first purchased this kit was that these alphas kind of vary in width. And I thought that was a little bit fun. And it also was kind of fun because it helped me figure out how wide my word was going to be. If I wanted it to be wider, I could use the wider letters. If I wanted it to be narrower, I could use the narrower letters. And that was kind of a fun twist on alpha stickers that I wasn't used to. This was a wrapper from a chocolate bar that my friend Erica sent me, and it was a delicious chocolate bar, and the wrapper was very gorgeous, so I wanted to include it in my spread. So I had just cropped it down, but it was so narrow or so flimsy because it's just like a chocolate wrapper. So I adhered it onto some white cardstock so that it would stay in the pocket. Then I'm going through and adding the rest of my stories on this little card here. You saw in the beginning, I was considering using that more or less card, and I ended up swapping it out for this. And that's just because, like I said, I wanted at least one card that didn't have a prompt on it so I could include all those random stories that didn't fit elsewhere. What I could have done was included a lot of those maybe on like labels, on my photos, but they didn't all have photos that went with them. And I like having this like bullet point catch-all card. This card here just says the year 2023 on it, and I just wanted to include it because if I don't use it, it will just sit in my stash and then be unusable because I'm not going to be documenting 2023 ever again, and that's usually just something you want to include at the beginning of the year. So I just added the word hello in there and a few little embellishments to kind of fill in the card, even though I didn't really need it on the spread. It's more of just a filler card. Along with this one here in the top right corner, I added one of the die cuts from the kit and just made that kind of another filler card. And I don't always include filler cards, but I really like them. And I really love like the layout of this spread with all of the 3x4 pockets. I'm not sure if I talked about that in the beginning, but this 9x12 size allows me to include a lot more 3x4s and a lot less 4x6s, which isn't ideal for my stash, but it is something that I really enjoy, and I really have been taking a lot more vertical photos. So I did think I was going to use more of the layouts that have the 4x6 pockets, but so far I'm really loving this with all the 3x4s. You saw there I rearranged a bunch of the cards, trying to figure out the order that I wanted them in on the spread. And I kind of struggled because I didn't want a lot of the words next to each other. I didn't want all the photos next to each other, and I didn't have like the perfect number of them. So I kind of struggled a little bit to lay them out, but ultimately I really love how it all came together. And I really, really love that this spread was all these 3x4s. So I'm sure I will do that again. Okay, guys, that wraps up this page. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Thanks. Bye.